Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Raw Reaction. Of course, for Elite Ringside Network, you can check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/ER Network 24/7, which is also our Twitter handle. How convenient. I am, of course, Nate the Effing Great, joined here, as always, by Mr. AJ from Smart Money and Raw. Yeah, that was a thing last night.
Wasn't too bad. I actually kind of I definitely enjoyed it more than the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, that's for sure.
Yeah, I watched it with Spencer while we were doing we tried doing the live thing, but then Spencer did a bad thing and we got told, nope, we can't do live streams until it happened, until like a certain period of time. But I think what actually happened was when we had the Money in the Bank logo going out throughout the entire broadcast, that's what set off the copyright deal, and that's why Facebook was getting so picky. So it's not our fault. It's more Facebook for being so. It is. But what are you gonna do? So yeah, we're gonna leave Money in the Bank for Max and Spencer tonight because I think that we got a bit of a headache as is with Monday Night Raw. Honestly, comparing it to last week, only so much improvement. I mean, we're going to highlight a couple of things here and there, but I'm not going to try and go throughout the entire thing because I'm pretty sure that I would want to, end up killing myself just thinking about it. But one of the main things that definitely came out of the night was, oh man, I mean, we kicked off Raw with Roman Reigns coming out and basically saying what everybody predicted. He's going to challenge off against Samoa Joe or Brock Lesnar, whoever the champion is after Great Balls of Fire. He's going to be the number one contender at SummerSlam. And this draws out Joe, and we get a matchup between Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns. But in all honesty, this was actually one of the highlights of the night. It was actually a better encounter this night than it was Samoa Joe's first match on Raw.
Well, going back to what you said about last week, I didn't get to watch last week's Raw because we had the thunderstorm from hell in Stevens Point. 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. We had flooding all over the city. Over 13,000 people didn't have power for around 24 hours. It was absolutely insane. So I didn't get to watch it. I didn't even bother watching the replay. But yeah, WWE's been kind of just, I don't know. Like, I haven't watched SmackDown in 3 weeks. And I watched the pay-per-view on Sunday, and it reassured me that I am absolutely not missing anything. Because, I mean, Jesus, that had to be one of the worst pay-per-views I've seen in forever.
Oh, Money in the Bank. The only good thing
I've had more entertaining farts than that pay-per-view. Like, seriously, that pay-per-view was garbage. So, coming off of that and watching Raw last night, I think that just made Raw looked so much better to me last night, I think, because the last wrestling thing I watched was Money in the Bank. And there were some great moments on Raw last night, and, I'm sure we'll get into them, but as you said, starting off with Roman Reigns coming out, Roman Reigns comes out, does the Roman Reigns thing, has a new T-shirt that's ugly as shit. It looks like it would be an AJ Styles shirt, because it's supposed to be, I think, doing the Superman punch, but it just looks like he's doing the phenomenal forearm. Ugly shirt, not gonna waste my money on it. And I did like, however, the part where he wouldn't call Samoa Joe. He just calls him a guy named Joe. It's like he didn't want to give him the Samoan credit. Like, it's almost like Roman Reigns is saying, no, you're not Samoa Joe. I'm the Samoan, I'm the top Samoan in this company. I almost felt like that's what he was going after.
Yeah, I think that he definitely does a great job, and he's really starting to get better as a heel. But like I was saying, we actually had a better matchup between Samoa Joe and Roman Reigns this time around. The Oh gosh, when Roman hit Joe with the spear and then Joe puts his foot on the bottom rope, I'm like, wow, they're really going all out for this matchup. They're making it seem like this is an actual SummerSlam preview that we could possibly get. Roman Reigns sets up for the spear for a second time, but we got a little surprise in this matchup.
One of the best moments of Monday Night Raw in this very moment is what you're talking about, the Titantron screen coming on with the ambulance backing up. I think everybody and their mother knew who was in that ambulance, too.
Yep, the doors open, and out came the savior of Monday Night Raw. We might as well go. Yeah. Braun Strowman makes his return, and that actually caused a distraction for Roman Reigns. Samoa Joe locks in the Coquina Clutch, choking out Roman Reigns. And
Loved it.
yeah, after that, Samoa Joe just leaves, and then Braun's just like coming up to the ring, and then he grabs the mic and he just says, "I'm not done with you yet!" And he just slams Roman like he's absolutely nothing, and then challenges Roman Reigns to an ambulance match at the Great Balls of Fire event, which eventually Roman Reigns does accept, and is in fact going to happen at Great Balls of Fire. We're getting the rubber match. We're getting Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman 3 in an ambulance matchup. This is actually one of those matches I'm kind of looking forward to, because you got a guy that everybody just seems to hate, and one of the biggest guys who knows how to wrestle and who is so over with the crowd that it's to the point where they're going to basically say he needs to be the next Universal Champion. He needs to be, he needs to hold every single belt that there is. I'm looking forward to Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns. I still hate the fact that it's at one of the most god-awful named events that I will ever hear, but now this is the second matchup on there that it's like, okay, this is still pretty good. I can bear through it. I can grit my teeth through it. I think I can survive this. But yeah, thoughts on the build up to Braun versus Roman?
Well, I mean, obviously, this isn't the first time. Obviously, this isn't the first time that those two are going to be having a match. They've actually had some pretty decent matches in the past leading up to this one. I'm fairly confident that this match, whoever wins, will be the legit number one contender for whoever wins between Lesnar and Joe for SummerSlam. I'm just curious because did WWE just deliberately swerve us by saying that Strowman could be out like 6 months? Because
yeah.
he was only gone for like a month, maybe a month and a half.
Yeah, I think they actually did deliberately say that, because I remember earlier reports saying he was only going to be out for like 6 weeks, and I guess Angle, when he came out, he made it seem like it's going to be 6 months, and I'm thinking, oh wow, it's more serious than I thought it was going to be. But then I've heard, then the rumors escalate, Braun Strowman's clear to compete. I'm like, oh, they're going to do a major swerve, aren't they? And the reports read saying, they're doing this because they want to make Braun Strowman just look that much stronger. The dude's already as strong as is. You could say anything about him, and he's already going to be like this huge He-Man look-alike that will just destroy everybody and still have a smile about it.
It's crazy how over he is, because, not this past year, but I want to say, the 2016 Royal Rumble, he was just, horrible. I mean, everyone was like, okay, this guy needs work, he's way too green. Unsafe, actually, in a lot of spots. And he really, over the past, year and a half now, has really, put the time in, put the work in, learned a lot of stuff. He's come a very, very long way. And this feud with Roman Reigns has made him, I would say, one of the top guys, especially on Raw right now. And it's crazy. Here was a guy who was just muscle for the Wyatt family, who was a Viking in the party, the party, whatever you called them.
Oh, the Rosebuds, the Rosebuds.
Yeah, the Rosebuds, the Party Express. That's
there we go.
Think of it. Yeah, I mean, so the guy's come a long way, and I really hope he goes over Roman Reigns, and I would love to see him and Lesnar go at it.
I think that's probably going to be the build-up. I mean, well, especially when we find out, later on in the show in the main event sequence. We'll talk about that immensely because that was awesome. I think that right now it doesn't seem like they're going to be breaking off the Hardys, and I think one of the original plans was to have Braun Strowman go to Great Balls of Fire and then have Jeff Hardy face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. But I think that now with them having to push off this whole deal because of Braun's injury, I think they're going to actually move the Braun Strowman Brock Lesnar match to SummerSlam. So I definitely do agree. I would love to see that. I mean, it's basically the man of Suplex City versus the guy who will destroy anybody and will just keep screaming, "I'm not done with you yet! I'm not done!"
Well, it's just like, like, on the roster, there's only, like, a few guys that if you put face-to-face with Brock Lesnar, you're like, okay, that guy has a chance, And Strowman is, like, a legit person where you put him face-to-face with Lesnar and you're like, okay, that guy stands a chance against Brock Lesnar. There's not that many people in WWE you can put face-to-face with Brock and you're like, oh, yeah, he's got a chance. Like, no. But, no, you kept saying, like, Strowman was saying, I'm not done with you. I saw one of the funniest Facebook posts last night. It was, how'd it go? It was like, violets are blue, roses are red, Braun Strowman's back, and I'm not done with you yet, or something like that.
Oh, man. One of the greatest poetry writings I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's something similar to that. I don't know if that is exactly what it is, but I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
All right, so we move on from that, and we'll definitely be hyping up the Great Balls of Fire event when it comes up, I believe, in a couple weeks.
I hate that name.
Yeah, we could spend like 2 hours just talking about how stupid of a name that is. But let's talk about something that wasn't stupid, was once again the segment that involves The Miz. Dear Lord, can this guy just make anything just turn into just something great and creative, just genius. Miz basically came out and he is doing like this grand apology to his wife Maurice, which, a lot of people can relate to, thinking, oh yeah, I'm a husband, so I know where he's going through that. He repairs the grandfather clock. He has two bears out saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Maurice seems like she's just about to accept the apology when here comes the party pooper Dean Ambrose. Maurice gets champagne spilled on her. Miz goes after Dean, but Dean's like, nope. Miz hits the grandfather clock, and it's like, oh boy, we're going to get a repeat, aren't we? Yep, Maurice slaps Miz, leaves, and Miz is just basically humiliated again. But he gets the last laugh because the two bears attack Dean Ambrose, turning out to be Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel, who were approached by the Miz earlier because, why not? Marine 5. God help me, why is this still a relevant thing? But yeah, they're apparently joining up with the Miz, creating some Miz entourage, and in about a year, the Miz has gone from the Spirit Squad to the Social Outcasts. What in the hell? But in all honesty, I'm totally okay with it, because if it gives Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel screen time, I'm okay with that. Curtis Axel, I've always been a fan of. Bo Dallas, not so much. He lost to Finn Balor earlier, so nothing really too major there. Although I want to do a side note on Finn Balor a little bit later on. But your thoughts on the Miz segment?
Well, you know me. I love anything the Miz does, and yeah, the segment was awesome. And yeah, I love the fact that he went out and got Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. I've been a fan of both those guys for the longest time, pretty much ever since they debuted on the main roster. Bo Dallas has a lot of talent, and they do not let him use it. I think it's funny that, like, he's starting to grow a beard now, and it's just like, he's just going to grow it out, like, disappear for a while, and then come back with his brother. Like, and obviously Curtis Axel being the son of Mr. Perfect, I also think is a greatly, greatly underutilized talent in WWE. I don't know what they're thinking or what the reasoning behind putting them with the Miz is. The only thing I can think of is maybe their stock will rise just by being with the Miz. Maybe they can learn something from the Miz, because see more screen time with those guys, I'm all for it because, like I was just saying, I think they're two of the most underutilized talent guys on the roster. You know, when you talk about people that are underutilized, a lot of people say, like, Cesaro gets underutilized, Sami Zayn gets underutilized, and they do, but, you know, it's the Bo Dallases and Curtis Axels get so overlooked because they don't get utilized at all, and they just became, like, an afterthought of people. But it's like, I've seen interviews with Bray Wyatt where he's like, I don't know what the hell they're doing with Bo. He is way better in the ring, like, than I am, and you know, Bray's kind of had his pushes, and he's like, they're not doing shit for Bo, and he's like, I don't get it. And fucking Curtis Axel's a headache, man. You want to talk about pure talent? That family's jacked with it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's win-win for everybody. Miz is going to go over regardless because it's just Miz is awesome. And like I was saying, I think this is a great learning experience for those two, and it could bump them up a little bit.
We'll just have to wait and see in the future. Yeah, let's go right into that whole side note with Finn Balor. It seems like he's getting into a program with Elias Sampson.
Oh, God.
Interesting choice. Do you see any good coming out of this feud?
No. I think it's, sorry, we don't have anything for you right now, kid, so we're going to put you with Elias Sampson. If anything, it's only going to help Elias Sampson. It's not going to help Finn Balor in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I mean, the whole part where Elias Sampson is tuning his guitar and Balor basically just comes out and cuts him off because he's got the match with Bo Dallas, and that leads into the backstage attack later on in the night. I did like what he said to Balor, though. Just don't ever upstage me again. I don't know why. For me, it just reminded me of the movie Jay and Silent Bob, when Mark Hamill comes out and they're doing the whole Blunt Man and Chronic movie. And he's like, you're not upstaging me, Vanderbeek. I don't know, that's what it made me think of.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with Elias Sampson and Finn Balor either. I do agree with you that it more helps Sampson than Balor. I think Balor just needs to get back on facing some upper mid-card talent. Elias Sampson, he's a drifter. He's not doing too much, so...
Well, that's what I'm saying with Balor. It just seems like, sorry, kid, we don't got anything for you right now. Because, you know, we got Strowman and Roman, Joe and Lesnar. And what are they going to do? Are they going to go Seth Rollins and fucking Finn Balor again? No, they already did that recently. So, and now it seems like Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt are going into a thing now. And Balor's the odd man out. Like, if you think of like the top 6 guys in the company right now,
yeah,
everyone's paired up except for Balor.
Right. Let's actually transition into that. The segment with Seth Rollins and Bray Wyatt. Seth Rollins came out and announced the fact that he's going to be gracing the cover of WWE 2K, WWE 2K18. I think that was, yeah. You know, and he actually got a pretty good reaction from the crowd. I think that this is one of the first few times that him as a babyface, he actually got a pretty good reaction. He seemed to connect well with the crowd, which was good. Said the right things, and then Bray Wyatt, of course, just saying, you know, that you call yourself Kingslayer, I'm a god. And I think Seth Rollins, again, had one of the best comebacks where he just says, you know, everybody knows that, you know, there is a God and he's always in our minds. You call yourself a god. Maybe you're just the one who's just being crazy. Geez, the promos between these two are getting better and better. I'm honestly surprised by that.
Yeah. Well, I think Bray always does good promos.
Well, yeah.
Seth Rollins, yeah, I mean, I can't remember. I mean, it's probably when he was with the Authority, when he last cut like a bad promo, in my opinion, that I can remember. But sorry. There's one thing I thought was really funny though. So during that whole segment, what's the theme for 2K18? Like, be like no other,
Yeah, be like no one.
Be like no one. So, freaking Michael Cole's dumbass talking about Seth Rollins being on the cover of WWE 2K18, saying Seth Rollins is gonna be like no one, and it's like, well, actually, all those people he just named off, he's being like them by being on the cover, so he's not really being like no one. I think Michael Cole's losing his marbles.
Yeah, I think a couple of chair shots and fist drops from Jerry Lawler kind of messed up his mind. I think they're finally starting to take effect.
I get what he's doing is trying to plug the game and the slogan of the game, but it's like, pick a better way to do it, not by saying that Seth Rollins is going to be like no one, because he's literally being like every other person the year before him on the, that's on the cover of the game. Michael Cole's been slipping lately. For the last couple of months, he's just, I always catch him doing stuff where I'm like, oh my God, Michael Cole, what the hell? And I like his little trying to be hip moments too. And were they talking about Titus O'Neil's barbecue? And he's like, it was turned. I'm like, shut up, Cole.
Oh man, Michael Cole.
Seth Rollins and Bray. That could be a really good feud.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. More than likely, it's going to happen. Go ahead.
It sucks though because just typical how they book Bray. He's going to come out, do some great promos, probably do some mind games, and then Rollins will go over.
Well, you never know. I think that this could be one of those feuds where they might actually put Bray Wyatt over, but we've been wrong before, and there's always that slim hair of a chance that we're right. It's like, okay, he's finally going to get the win. Yay! And then, WrestleMania happened, and it's like, great. You guys know how to fuck us over.
Carpet out right from underneath us.
Yeah. All right. So we'll talk about the main event segment in just a minute. Just a couple of other highlights. Hardys beat the Club. Cesaro and Sheamus defeated Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews. Akira Tozawa defeats TJP. Mass chaos at the women's division. Looking forward to seeing what they're doing with that. But yeah, this all builds up to the main event segment, which a lot of people are wondering who was behind the attacks on Enzo and Cass. We got the Big Show come out. We had Revival come out because a lot of accusations are pointing towards them. Big Show makes this comment.
Everybody knew who it was.
Yeah, but I think it's still one of those things that, people still wanted to see because it's one of those things where it's like, I think that once we see it, it's going to be worth it. And to tell you the truth, it really was. So they nixed out Big Show, and Big Show threatens to not be a part of the company. For those of you that don't know, go listen to Talk is Jericho with the Big Show on there, and you'll definitely know his true feelings about being on Monday Night Raw. Revival has a solid alibi. They're nixed out. And then Corey Graves, surprisingly, quote unquote, had some footage of Big Cass being attacked. And it's just Big Cass just choreographing what goes down, and Big Cass cutting one of the most vicious promos I'd ever thought I'd hear from Big Cass, basically saying that he was always the guy behind Enzo, he was never the one straight up forward, and that he was always getting pulled back because of Enzo. Boys in the back were talking bad, and he stood up for Enzo.
My favorite part was when he goes, your mouth keeps writing checks that your ass can't cash, because Big Cass is standing behind you.
That was one of those lines I thought, wow, that was just really good. And then it basically ends with him just saying, like, you and I, we're through. Big Cass, big boot to Enzo. And some people are calling this a Big Cass heel turn, but it's on Enzo. Is that really a heel turn, or is that a bit of a face turn? Although you could make the argument because the crowd there just kept saying, you suck, you suck, you suck. So,
yeah. It's definitely a Cass heel turn, and I'm really curious to see what a heel Cass could do. I really would have liked to have seen Enzo and Cass do a heel run as a tag team, though, because didn't they do kind of a heel run down in NXT?
I think in the earlier years they did, yeah. But
yeah, like when they first started, I kind of thought they were more heelish. I don't know, like, this whole split only helps Big Cass. I don't think it helps Enzo in any way, shape, or form, because literally everything Big Cass said about Enzo is true. mouth, gets his ass beat. Cass comes in for the save, and then it's so repetitive. And I mean, I even made the comment. I was like, yeah, Enzo will be fine. He'll main event again, just on Superstars and main event.
I do remember that post.
And then Kerry was like, oh, he could go to the cruiserweight division, but
God
Cass
help me.
on his own is gonna be fine. Especially if he cuts promos like he cut last night. Like, you're good. Enzo, he's great for promos, but he's 5'0" nothing, weighs 100 nothing. Like, what's he gonna do?
I don't know. I mean, in all honesty, it'll be very interesting to see what they do with these two. Like you said, Big Cass, Vince McMahon has been very high on for a long time, and Enzo probably not so much. So, what is he going to do? Probably team up with somebody that nobody really cares about. I mean, there's always somebody. I mean, I would honestly be interested to see, just like this one-man tag team division where it's, basically Braun Strowman and Enzo, where Braun Strowman just like throws Enzo over like into a reverse choke slam, just has him cover. And Enzo doesn't even get in the ring. He's just one of those guys who's just like an extra person there where he's just like, I'm just going to throw you into this guy and, you're going to pin him 1, 2, 3. That's it. I'm going to do all the work and you're going to just sit there looking like a little punk-ass bitch.
See, like, we can have that, but what we'll actually get is like Enzo and R-Truth.
Oh, God. And, we'll have to talk about that to close off the show. But, yeah, I'm interested in seeing what they're doing with Big Cass. Is he going to challenge maybe for the Intercontinental title a little bit later on, or is he going to go for the Universal title? I don't know. Big Cass versus Brock Lesnar.
I got a feeling right out the gate, he's either going to. I don't know what they're going to do with him and Enzo, if they're going to keep running with that. But I got a feeling right away, Cass is going to go after Show.
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, honestly, I'd be very interested in seeing what they do. And I think Big Show is one of the few big guys that can actually make another big guy look good. I mean, case in point, Braun Strowman. Now, of course, people don't mention Great Khali. That's
that was Braun Strowman. Like,
okay,
I mean, it takes two to dance, and they make each other look good. But just the pure athleticism of Braun Strowman alone, where he's in there doing moves like a cruiserweight with Big Show. Holy crap!
This is true. This is very true.
I do think him and Cass could put on a really good match, and like you were saying, like Big Show's a good guy to do that with, especially because like with Big Cass too, he's not quite 7 feet tall, and he's big, but he's like he's skinny big. He's not like super buff big. He's not like Big Show big or Strowman big. So he can move very, very fast for a big guy. And yeah, I think those two could have some great matches.
Well, it might happen at Great Balls of Fire, but I will say this, that if they have a matchup where it's Enzo versus Big Cass and Enzo goes over, I might just stop watching Monday Night Raw altogether. It'd be like one of those moments where it's like, you gave him a big heel turn deal. He needs the momentum. Enzo doesn't. And you gave it to Enzo. Fuck Raw. I'm done. I will literally just throw my remote on the ground, just, cry in a corner, just saying Monday Night Raw has pushed me
have
over.
a match, and it doesn't just end with right as the bell ring, Big Cass just comes out and big boots Enzo and pins him. Like, that's how it should be. That should just be it.
Okay, I'm okay with that. So, to close off the show, Goldust and the Golden Era, they are coming to Monday Night Raw next week. And Shattered Dreams is bringing out the Shattered Truth. So we're finally getting to see what happens when they do all these promos, all this hype. Boy, I'm hoping that they don't just throw this in the garbage, because I am loving what they're doing with Goldust. As you said before, I would love to see them do a thing with Goldust and The Miz. But why do I have this feeling that they're just going to suck this dry to the point where it's just going to stink again?
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be awesome. Like, obviously, Dean Ambrose and Miz are gonna keep their feud going for a while. R-Truth and Goldust are probably gonna have a couple goes at it. Especially if you have a champion, a world champion or universal champion that's not on the show, please give us Miz and Goldust. Just, wow. I can't even imagine the promos and the mind games that Goldust would play and all that kind of stuff. Oh, actually, real quick, I wanted to go back to something with Enzo and Cass. I totally forgot to bring this up. You talked about it. So, Corey Graves comes out with the security footage. Now, for all these weeks that shit was happening, in my head, I was like, don't these arenas have fucking security cameras? Like, that's the first thing I would go to, be like, let's check the security footage, because you know they do. But, yeah, I just thought it was funny that Corey Graves, investigative journalism, got that security footage. But, yeah, I totally was going to bring that up, but then we just got into the heat of it. But, yeah anyways, back to Goldust and Truth. Yeah, I don't know. Crazy. Like...
Oh, we want this to be big money. We really do. That's the bottom line.
I mean, I want to see Miz and Goldust. I want to see Goldust have another good last run at the IC title. You know, when he came to WWE, that's what he craved. That's what he wanted. That's what drove him. I feel like that's how he should go out. I don't know if I would put him over or not. Maybe put him over and then have Miz chase him, and then that'd be it. I don't know, but it's R-Truth and Goldust. I'm pretty sure Goldust is going over in that. I don't know. I liked him as a tag team together, but R-Truth by himself, unless he goes back to being funny, like, oh, you're not even in this match. Oh, my bad. That's my bad, y'all. I hope he doesn't go back to the whole Jimmy and spiders and all that crap, because I have a friend of mine, Andy, who used to stay with me and Alicia. Week after week, we'd watch Raw. And I would say the same damn thing every time R-Truth's music hit. How in the fuck does this guy still have a job? And then he got relevant. He started being funny and more entertaining. And I liked it. So I was like, okay, I haven't said that now in well over a year. Maybe even almost 2. And now it's like, I got this feeling I'm going to go back to that after he's done with Goldust.
Well, we'll find out, especially next week. Also next week, Brock Lesnar's advertised. Final build-up to Great Balls of Fire.
Well, yeah, they're at Staples Center.
Booyah. So that's all I got to say about that. So, all in all, final thoughts on Raw, AJ?
Like I said, earlier, it was pretty decent Raw. Gizmo, fuck off. Sorry, dog's acting full. Pretty decent Raw. There were some, boring parts, but, with Strowman coming back, that was a highlight of the night. Joe and Roman was good. The segment with Bray and Seth was good. Goldust's promo was great. And the Enzo and Cass thing was a great way to end the night. I mean, so it was decent. Like I said, it's better than fucking Money in the Bank. One of the worst goddamn pay-per-views ever.
Yeah. And again, we're not even going to go into that. We're going to leave that hellhole for Max and Spencer tonight. So, guys, enjoy that and enjoy SmackDown tonight because, you get to talk about Ellsworth and what he did. So, by all means, enjoy that hell. And we're just going to stick with our raging hell that is Monday Night Raw.
I do want to say one thing about that.
What's up?
You brought up Ellsworth.
All right.
I was so fucking pumped when I heard that we were going to have the first ever women's Money in the Bank match.
Mm-hmm.
First ever. Such a huge opportunity for all 5 of these women to make history. What do we get? James fucking Ellsworth climbs the ladder and gets the briefcase. Who wrote that?
Kevin Dunn.
Oh my! It looked like something Vince Russo would write.
Oh God! If Vince Russo's back in WWE, I will find him and I will kick him to the curb and give him a curb stomp.
Well, Jim Cornette basically already challenged him to a fist fight.
I'd pay to see that.
But no, I just thought that was, is such a huge moment for those women, and I think Vince took that away from them, I think.
Yeah, but again, I'm not going to touch that. I'm going to leave that for Max and Spencer because, again, they need to enjoy some of their own, backlash, which I wish we had that pay-per-view and not that Money in the Bank match.
Especially too, with the lineage you have in that match, with the Hearts, Snuka, and Flair. Come on. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Well,
I can see that shit would have happened on Raw.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this edition of Raw Reaction, you guys. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter, AJ at AGens81, myself at NateFandGreat. Later on this week, we still have another edition of Change the F Up, where we will be actually hyping up the final Transformers movie that's actually coming out tomorrow night for those of you that want to see it out in 3D. I myself will more likely see it on Friday, probably a normal vision, but whatever. Of course, tonight is, Smack Talk with Max and Spencer. And building up again for a couple...
I gotta tell you,
what's up?
I will not be able to record next Tuesday.
Really?
I will be on my way to Chicago for Rammstein.
Wow, very nice.
Yeah, I got seventh row tickets for Rammstein, and that just like freaking dawned on me when you were talking about what's coming up. So yeah, won't be able to record next Tuesday because more than likely we will either already be in Chicago or on our way to Chicago for that show.
Fair enough. So next week, expect Raw Reaction to be done by just me, myself, and I. I refuse to have Spencer Hart on any of my shows anymore. So, yeah. So, yeah, for AJ, I am Nate the Effing Great. Thank you for joining us again for another edition of Raw Reaction. Monday Night Raw. Please have one good show before this stupid event. And, yeah, we're going to call it a day. So, see you guys.
You're soft, you're sloppy. They calling me Poppy. I'm rolling in bands, you riding around and I beat up jalopy. How you doing? Bros wanna copy, but they are just not on way. I'm up in the club, stacking the dubs and stuck in the lobby. I'm hot like sauce, you soft like balsa. You ain't heard of me? Well, you probably are. Ask about me. Nice to meet you, so good to see you. Bros wanna act hard, they need to take it easy. 'Cause you soft. Cause you soft. How you doing? S-A-W-F-T. Soft. How you doing? I look good when I'm ready. No, you're soft like spaghetti. I'm walking the walk, talking the talk, calling you soft. Wow. I'm a clerk on a sword. See me out on the floor, and you getting jelly the way all these girls